All right, so let's go ahead and wrap this session up. So here's a summary of the key points that we provided today. So we're just going to kind of start at the top and work our way through here. Enrollment records, that's your SENR records, must be posted first in the record submission order in order to gain ownership of an SSID. You are not able to submit any of the other records in the student profile without first submitting the enrollment record or the SENR record. Second, demographic information is required for all students. So that means the student information, the SINF record is required for all students, and state level matching cannot be performed without those demographic records. LEAs do not need to update the English language acquisition status in those CELA records for incoming students that are transferring from another California public school whose statuses already exist. Next, the initial LPAC results of EL and IFEP. Those statuses are sent automatically to CALPADS from TOMS with no action needed on your part. Students aged 22 years or older must have a current ELA status of ADEL, that's Adult English Learner, including students who are EL. The IFEP and RFEP students are exempt from this rule because IFEP and RFEP are the English proficient designations and are the results of the LPAC. The ADEL status is an English learner status for adults and is the status we give when age restrictions make students ineligible for LPAC testing. Next, program eligibility is counted if the program start date is on or before Census Day and there is no end date or the end date is after Census Day. So that's for inclusion in Fall 1 reports. And we did go over the two exceptions with the National School Lunch Program and direct certification. Finally, the four special education file types, the MEET plan, SWIDS, and SERV files for students with disabilities are submitted directly from the special education data system to CalPADS automatically with the API transfer. So it kind of summarizes the training today. These are our fall 1 milestones. So from now until Census Day next Tuesday, you should be, or next Wednesday, I'm sorry, completing student profile data population in the student information system. And also from now through November 8th, you should be submitting records and doing data population in CalPADS. We expect that by about November 8th, you should be finished with record submission and student data should be in the CalPAD system. But when data is in the system, it is subject to those CDDs and cert errors. And so from November 11th, November 29th, we're expecting that LEAs should be resolving the CDDs, certification errors, and anomalies. After that, from December 2nd to December 6th, we imagine you've resolved those errors. Your data is in a high quality state, so you're able to send your reports to local data stewards. Those are those department level folks who are subject matter experts on, for example, programs or English learner services or what have you. There is a short amount of time here to review those reports, so it is important that you involve them in the process of ensuring data quality earlier if you do have any doubts about the quality of the data that you have submitted in CalPADS. After that, we have from December 9th to December 13th to LEA approve the Fall 1 submission. December 13th is the initial certification deadline for Fall 1, and that initial certification deadline is the time by which all LEAs should be LEA approved in Fall 1. We do, encourage SELPA approval as well, but that December 13th is for LEA approval as the deadline for LEA approval. We then have an amendment window. It really is from the 13th to January 24th. But there is a weekend and some off time involved there. And so we have it labeled as December 16th to January 24th. And then January 24th is the amendment deadline. So that is the final certification deadline for the Fall 1 submission. So by January 24th, you should be both LEA and SELPA approved in Fall 1, and that is the state level requirement there. This slide contains additional resources and support. We have talked to each of these, well, 3 of the 4 of these throughout the training today. So I'm just going to kind of quickly go over them. Bridge is the learning management system utilized by CSIS, where LEAs are able to access live training like this session that you're attending now. Please do look to Bridge for any resources provided in this session, and then send any folks that you would like to get trained up in CalPads to Bridge if they're able to get an account. And again, only 2 accounts are allotted per LEA, and that is basically a budgetary restriction for Bridge. If users are not able to get a Bridge account and access live training, the CSIS YouTube training channel does house recordings of all of our training content, including today's session, the CalPads user manual, which I kind of expounded upon a little bit in my section, and Kyron really gave us a demonstration of the usefulness of the CalPads user manual during that demonstration. It really is a vital resource and becoming as close as we've got to a one-stop shop in terms of CalPads system documentation. And then finally, we have the website for the LPAC. LPAC testing is quite relevant in Fall 1 with the CELA records and the English language acquisition status submission. And for guidance on the LPAC test itself, please go to the LPAC website. We are really only able to assist the kind of CalPads reporting side of LPAC testing, but not actually able to give guidance on the LPAC. So for further information on the LPAC, please do visit the LPAC website. For support on all things CalPads, the fastest way to obtain support is with the web form. If you submit a web form here, it will automatically be generated as a ticket in our ticketing system and assigned to an agent, and is your fastest route to one-on-one specific support here that is, again, specific to your scenario, specific to your details at your LEA. Email and phone are 2 other ways to obtain support, but those are going to take a little bit longer. When you send an email to calpad-support at cde.ca.gov, that email is transcribed into a ticket that is then submitted into our ticketing system and routed to agents. So the further transcription process does slow down the support that you'll receive from email, and the same with the telephone. There's not a CSIS agent manning this telephone line. Rather, if you call this line, you will be leaving a voicemail, and that voicemail will be transcribed into a ticket and put into the system. And so because of the transcription processes necessary in both email and telephone, they are not as instantaneous as web support. So we do recommend submitting a web form for the fastest services and support there. And then finally, the CSIS CalPads listserv is a fantastic way to obtain support from both CSIS, the CDE, and your other LEA data coordinators. The listservs are a 2-way form of communication where LEAs can support other LEAs that have similar SISs, similar SEDS systems that are working in similar circumstances. The CSIS and CDE folks also weigh in on the listserv as well. And thank you for attending this session.
All right. Well, if you guys have any other questions after this training, feel free to send in a service ticket. And any of our support folks would be glad to assist you. And then if you are new to CalPads and is wondering who your CalPads monitor is, because every LEA has their assigned monitor to guide you, handhold you in this CalPads journey, then send in a ticket requesting or asking who your monitor is, and level 1 will then forward that ticket to us, and we will then reach out to you.